Hello and welcome to Grim Dawn. This is an action role-playing game in the style of Diablo, the Diablo series, which was created by some of the developers of the Titan Quest game. So I'm not going to tarry. I just want to say before I go that I've never done this before. I'm not an expert either at Grim Dawn or at Let's Playing. So if you're an expert in this game, you're not going to find much here. It'll more or less be a blind playthrough. I've played enough into the second act of the game to fairly much know how I want to set up my initial character. But as I say, this is not about creating an Uber build for the end of the game. This is about creating a let's play of this game. So I'll be paying attention to the lore, to the story, to the world in general. I'll be investigating all the different regions of the maps and so forth. I won't be rushing through to, some kind of end game thing. You can see that there's no characters created on this account. So I will be creating a new character. I'm going to go with a male. We're going to call him Redmond. Right. We're going to play in Veteran, which increases the difficulty and increases the number of monster spawns and such things, which will be good for us because we'll get more experience and more loot. And we're going to play Hardcore. That means if Redmond dies, well, it's game over and that's it. So that's our character. There he is. Rough looking character. Anyhow, Redmond is at level 1 at the moment. So we're going to take the game in and we'll just see what happens. I've no idea whether I'll be any good at this Let's Playing carry on. I've just started this channel, so I guess we're going to see. The free market of YouTube is going to make that decision. So there we go. That's it. Let's start.
We paid a heavy price, but the trap worked.
You seem surprised.
It's been a while since we've had a win. How long will it hold?
I've never entrapped a being like this, but the bonds hold, for now.
How do we dispose of it?
I'm just a witch. You're the soldier.
If it bleeds, I can kill it.
How do you kill a spirit, though?
If you kill the mortal vessel while it's bound, the spirit may perish within. If it escapes...
It's listening to us.
What are you?
Others of your kind name us ethereal.
Why have you invaded our world?
Your world. We existed first, but were managed by your corrupt gods. Your kind opened the way, and now we return to reclaim what by right should be ours.
I've heard enough of this rubbish. Let's hang it.
Destroy this vessel, and I will find another. I have tasted its desires and emotions. Your kind is weak. You have already lost this war.
Do it.
Captain!
Cut him down.
What? Are you mad? Better safe than sorry.
The spirit has fled!
This is a human now.
The captain is correct. When they awaken, they won't remember a thing.
The ethereal was right. The war is lost. We're a resistance now, and we need every human survivor we can call to our cause. Maybe this one here can still die with some honor. If they ever wake up, send them to me. If they don't, bury him deep with the others.
Okay, there we go. So here we are in the world of Grim Dawn. So what have we learned? We've learned that the world of Grim Dawn has been invaded by some kind of spiritual creatures called the ethereals. And these ethereals are able to possess human bodies. And in this case, the case of our character, Redmond, he was possessed by one of these ethereals. But the ethereal was driven out of his body by the hanging. So, we are now a human once again. However, I think we'll find that the possession by the ethereal has actually had an effect on our character. So we'll first have a little chat with Hangman Jarvis.
Still drawing breath, I see. You're one lucky bastard, I'll give you that. Best go speak to Captain Bourbon right away. He seems to have a plan for you now that we've spared your life. You were possessed, so we strung you up. Seems the spirit fled your body before your life ran out. I'd have left you to hang, but the captain had other plans. He sees some purpose in you, and I'm not going to argue. He's up the road, in the courtyard. Don't make me regret cutting you down.
Okay, here we go. Pleasant chap. Let's have a chat with this guy. Nope. Chester hasn't anything to say to us. There's a bridge that's down. The bridge once connected Devil's Crossing to the Arkovian foothills to the northwest. It must be restored before you can cross it. It will take 6 scrap and 3,000 iron bits to repair. So we don't have anything at the moment anyway. So no doubt that will all be done a little bit later on. So let's go and talk to this captain. Well, now, first of all, we'll have a chat with this chap.
So you're the one we almost hung. I didn't really see a sense in it, but then again, no one really cares what old Barnabas thinks. You really should go speak with the captain. He'll be the one deciding whether there's a place for you here at Devil's Crossing.
Okay, let's have a look at the signs. Devil's Crossing, Old Grove, Homestead, and Arkovian foothills. So no doubt we'll be coming across all these places in time. And you see here, Burwich Prison. That's where we are at the moment. It's called Devil's Crossing, and we're in this place called Burwich Prison. And here's the captain. So we'll go and have a chat with the captain, John Bourbon.
You're not looking too bad for someone just come back from the brink of death. You were taken, possessed by the same creatures that have been reanimating these zombies here. Normally I'd have burned you with the rest to be safe, but we've lost too many people to the dead. I need someone expendable, someone with nothing to lose but a lot to gain. Right now, you're that person. Prove your worth to me, and the survivors of Devil's Crossing may just welcome you. The bodies of the dead are rising again in some horrible unlife. Corpses don't just get up and move around on their own. Something is reanimating our deceased with ethereal energy. We have observed the dead for some time, and they appear to be flooding Lower Crossing from the burial hill, just beyond town. I want you to go to the burial hill, find whatever is controlling these abominations, and destroy it.
Where can I find them?
You will need to fight your way through Lower Crossing. Once you've crossed the stream on the far side of town, there will be a beaten path leading up to Burial Hill. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I'd be asking a lot of my people to welcome you with open arms, too. Help us in our hour of need, and I will open Devil's Crossing to you.
Okay, so we're going to have to find whatever it is that he says is down on Burial Hill. Let's ask him another.
What is it now?
couple of
The dead are
questions.
rising in droves and will overwhelm us with sheer numbers at the rate things are going.
Head to Burial Hill and destroy whatever is reviving them.
Okay, I'd like to ask about something else. Very well, make it quick. The longer you linger, the more dead gather at Lower Crossing. What is the situation here? That ethereal really scrambled your memories. The world has turned into a nightmare, and there are things far worse than walking corpses out there. This old prison now serves as the last human refuge in these parts. We get the occasional drifter passing through here with tales of other sanctuaries, but nothing I've been able to confirm. I don't think there's much left of our kind beyond these walls, but ruthless bandits, strange cults, and greedy salvagers eager to make profit, even in these desperate times. You want my advice? Make yourself useful here. Your other option is to die out there. I'd like to ask something else. What are the ethereals? That's a tough question. Nobody knows for sure. Most of what I know is from old reports circulated by the Resistance shortly after the Grim Dawn. It is said that the ethereals are not of this world. The Arcanists named them after the ether they were so cherished for their sorcery. Ethereals possess living creatures and corrupt the flesh into something horrific. Okay, so basically these ethereals are kind of spooks, basically, that can possess humans. Also, from what that ethereal said that was originally possessing our character, we know that the ethereals regard this world as belonging to them. When I say this world, I mean the world of Cairn, which is the world in which the Grim Dawn is situated. In other words, this is not the Earth, we're somewhere else. Okay, we'll just have a quick chat with these guys here. Looks like the possessed one. Tell you what, I've got something that needs doing and I'll pay good money to see it done. I'm not sure you've got what it takes, but come back with some blood on your boots and maybe I'll reconsider. Just try to make sure it's not your own blood. Okay, and this
Come see what's left of my wares.
guy is the salvage dealer. So these are the items that we can get. At the moment we've got 0 money, so we can't buy anything. This gives me an opportunity to have a look at this interface. We'll go into greater depth with this later on as we go along. At the moment all we have is a plank shield and a shiv. It's a one-handed sword. Okay.
See you around.
So we're going to be playing this character as a soldier. So we'll just move down. Let's yeah. Let's see what we find here. A musket. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's going to keep us, it's going to be a bit better for the time being, so we'll use that. Oh, we have our map now. There's our map. So this is the world of Cairn. So right now, we're down here in Devil's Crossing. And we're going to be moving towards Lower Crossing. You can see the world there, right? Right. That's a pretty useful weapon. so we got to level 1. Now, at this point, we're going to choose our first mastery. So I'll just run back into the Devil's Crossing to do this. So here we go. This is where we select our class or first mastery, and we can choose from. This is a soldier. We have all these different skills that we can use. Along the bottom here we have what's called the mastery bar. We can add points to that, which will give us a boost to our physique, cunning, spirit, health and energy. And up here we have these different skills that we can add. For example, Markovian's advantage. The circular ones are passives and the square ones are actives. Passive means that once you choose it, you don't have to do anything else. It has a chance of activating. In this case, it has 8% chance to be used. The square ones have to be activated, either toggled permanently on, or put onto the bar down here as individual attacks. So we'll see how that goes along. So now we have 3 points to spend, I should say. So I want to spend 1 point on the mastery bar, which will open up these first 3 skills. The first one I'm going to take will be Force Wave. And you'll see how that operates a little bit later. And the next one I'm going to be going for will be Blitz. So the way I'm going to set up my soldier initially will be to focus on Force Wave and Blitz as my main attack and damage dealers. And then we'll get into the rest of it later on. So I've got 1 point left. I'm going to spend that on the mastery bar so we can get to Blitz as quickly as possible. The 1 point in Force Wave is going to be enough to get us started. I'm going to confirm that. These are what's called the devotions. These are like kind of astrology trees, sort of roughly, approximately, and you can invest points that you earn by finding shrines and renovating them, and they give you various little boosts to your stats. This one here gives you 25 health and 12 defensive ability, and ends up with a very nice sort of circuit breaker. If you reach, I think it's 40% health, you'll get this protective barrier. It just gives you a little bit of security if you're getting towards a low health on your bar. It gives you a little bit more damage absorption, 500 damage absorption. And you can see that it goes from 0 to 3000, so it actually levels up, and the amount of damage it absorbs will increase as the game goes forward. And in fact we will be taking this turtle, or tortoise. Basically we're going to be playing as a soldier, and because we're playing hardcore veteran, I'm going to focus on defense as a priority. In other words, staying alive. Okay, so we're entering into this area called Lower Crossing, and we want to just find the burial hill. And we want to gain a few levels as well. So I'm going to go down this way initially. Now do you see that there? That kind of green muck on the ground. If you stand around in that, you'll get poisoned. So just be aware of that if you're playing. Scrap. Do you remember we saw at the bridge that you had to have some scrap? This stuff is really, really useful. You want to collect as much of it as you can. It'll be used for all kinds of things, especially for crafting later on in the game. You can use your mouse to pick up items in the environment, and to mouse over items that can... Let's have a look at the mace. So you can see there that if we use this, we're going to lose 19 damage per second. So for the moment, we'll stick with the musket. Can't go through here at the moment, right? Okay. I'm able to fire the chair if I hold down the shift button and then fire. It'll allow me to keep my position. Okay, so I want to go around this way. I happen to know there's an item down here that I want, so... It's in one of these houses. Food ration, they're very handy. They restore your health and your constitution. That's what I'm looking for. Hebel's greatsword. If we equip this, we're going to lose 1 damage, but you'll see why I'm going to do that in a minute. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on two-handed weapons, swords and hammers and hatchet, things like that. So this will be our first weapon. I think that slight glitch that you saw there has to do with the when you use these keys to swivel like this, the game engine doesn't really handle it all that well. Okay, now we have our sword, so I'll be able to show you how force wave works. Okay, so we automatically equipped them. Salvaged footpaths. For the moment we're going to be picking up pretty much everything, except for, we're going to be checking everything, but maybe not picking up everything. And I have it set, do you see down here on the left hand side, there's an auto show loot. You can set that to show common plus, that's white items, magic items, rare items plus, epic items and legendaries. So we're going to set it for common for the time being because we want to see everything that drops, given the fact that we actually don't have hardly any armor at all at this point. We'll have a quick look up here. Okay, I forgot to equip my force wave. So I'm going to put force wave here. If you come down to the bar, you can equip different skills both to your left and right mouse, or to this this bar here, and I've this set to the W key, as you can see. That's force wave. I'll show you what it does. How's that, eh? So it gives us quite a bit of extra damage. There we go. Leather coat, let's have a look at that. So that's 23 armor over the one that we're already wearing, so we'll equip that. We're not going to need this, so I'm going to dump that. And we're not going to need this, so I'm going to dump that. We're not going to need this. And we're not going to need this. There's no point in keeping those items. They're hardly worth... They're only worth a couple of gold, and it's just not worth going all the way back to sell them. But I'll keep this item because it's a magical item, so it will have a little bit of value. There we go. Just remember now, there's a food ration there. I won't go for it for the moment. Harbour Master's log, Law Crossing. Let's pick that up, and let's go in and have a look and see what it says. Ah, you get lore experience. You get experience when you read lore items. Autumn fogs are appearing early this year, but traffic remains unusually high. There is a steady flow of small craft coming down from Malmouth and other townships to the north. Some of these boats are barely afloat, burdened with what looks like people's every possession. These travellers, sometimes entire families, bring with them strange tales of wars and the unnatural. Bunch of hogwash, riling up the soft townsfolk. Can't complain though, keeps the dock busy. Most are westbound, trying to get as far away as they can. The lads at the docks are starting to lose their nerve. Some have talked about setting out west, but I've reassured them that it's all just nonsense and will pass. Anyway, obviously the Harbour Master doesn't believe the stories that he's hearing from the people. I presume what's happening here is that this was written at the very end, very beginning rather, of the Grim Dawn sort of event, which is the invasion of these ethereal creatures into the world of Cairn, and that this guy, whoever wrote it, really didn't believe what was unfolding before his eyes. Okay, so we got up another level, so we have some points to spend. So I'm going to put them into the mastery bar and keep moving until we get to Blitz. We'll go down here. So, you can see how effective Blitz is. It's almost like an area of effect spell, in fact, or skill. Because if you watch this, if you get these guys to bunch up, you can take them all out at the same time. Oops. Don't hang around in those things. I picked up that sword, but there's no point. It's not better than the one we have. You can see that the one we have already has a granted skill. Lightning Sphere, 8% chance on attack. So it just gives us a bit of extra damage, a chance of a little bit of extra damage. But we're not going to need this. Okay, that's good. So you can see the area that we've already uncovered. I think I'll work my way up this way and check those areas. A lot of the items in the world are breakable. So that's fine, they were immediately equipped. 29 armor, so our armor rating is improving. We're looking for something for our head and for our shoulders. Dead body, Francis's gun. That's another item that will always be here. And Francis's note. That's how we read it. Francis's note. Lower bones 25. I'm trapped here. I realize now I will die in this house. Margaret, I fear that you are already dead, and so it may not be so bad if I am shortly to join you. If by some miracle you yet live, and I return here to find you return here to find this note, please know that I am not angry with you. I've never regretted our life together, but now only regret that I lost my temper and spoke unkind words when last we parted. I hope you will not think me a coward for what I am about to do. They are already in the house. I've barricaded myself in this room, but it's only a matter of time before they break through. All I can do now is choose the manner in which I will face death, and I would rather die a man than be changed into one of those horrid things, or get eaten alive. I will love you always. Francis. Okay, so it looks like Francis took his own life. It's worthwhile destroying items in the world, such as bookshelves,
I can't do that yet.
because sometimes they'll drop items. Nope, but not today. There's a great sword. Oh look, that gives us a little bit of extra fur-lined damage. We already have a 23 armor equipped, so we don't need to pick up this item. I'll take the food ration here because I need my constitution has dropped a little. If you notice on the bar at the bottom, the red bar, you can notice that it has a sort of a yellow overlay that's partly down. That's the constitution. If I take this food ration, that'll go right up. Comes up. Constitution is very useful, and we're going to be using it for survivability as we're going along, and I'll explain that later on. Where are we? Okay, let's just keep looking. Boom. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't know if you noticed there, the force wave had the effect of actually stunning that chap. Just to show you where we are. Boom. rowboat. If I take that rowboat, it'll bring me to Hargate's Island. And I'll just show you on the map where that is. Oh, it doesn't mention it here on this map. Okay, it's up here. So we got the boat somewhere down here. This is Devil's Crossing in there. And this is Hargate's Island. I'm not going to stay here right now at this point. I'm going to wait until I have Blitz. But it's a good place to come in the early levels to gain some extra experience and pick up some useful items. And we'll come back here shortly, but for now we'll leave it. So I think we've seen all of this. Yeah. Just destroy that. Okay. Okay, so we'll make our way down this way, down to up this way, because we're kind of working north towards the Burial Hill. It's blocked off down there, as you can see. So I'll go around this way. Oh. If you let the guys get a little bit bunched up, you can get them all at the one time. So it's effectively an area of effect skill. Definitely want that. And we don't need that. Okay. As I say, always worthwhile destroying furniture like that. Cracked lodestone. Cracked lodestone. So this is a component. Components can be combined. I don't know if you can see it there. Partial component. One of three. If you get three of these things and put them together, they create a whole component. And they can be placed into armor and weapons. And we'll be looking into all that as we go along. This sword gives us a little bit more damage. But the Hevel's greatsword gives us the 8% chance of a lightning strike, so we'll stick with that for the moment. Down here on the bar, you can see where the experience is tracked. It's this yellow line along here. So we're heading towards level 4. And we need another 5 points on the mastery bar to get to Blitz. So I'm not going to go into Burial Hill until I've we don't need that. I won't be going into Burial Hill until I've got Blitz. Okay, we've already been down here. Tonic of Mending is basically a health potion. Weapons rack. No, we don't need that. Nothing here. Okay, so we can cross over here. Don't know if you noticed, but the electrical effect procced at that point. Because Force Wave is essentially operating off the two-handed melee weapon. So that's why when you use Force Wave, your base damage is being your damage is being estimated on the weapon that you're carrying, and we still have the chance for the special effect on the weapon, or the skill on the weapon to proc Lightning Sphere. Anyway, so far as I can tell, I'm not an expert at this game, guys, as you can probably tell. I have played a little bit already, enough to know sort of basically what I'm doing at this point in the game. Okay, so we found somebody. Valdis. We're all going to die out here. Calm down. Where are you from? I was staying with a group of survivors down in Devil's Crossing. You know, the old prison, but supplies started running low. I volunteered to go scavenging around Lower Crossing. Figured it was safe enough, but I was wrong. I got chased in here by a pack of ravenous rift scourges. Though I can't hear their maddening skittering anymore, I suppose I have you to thank for that. It doesn't matter though. The area is overrun with the dead. We won't make it 5 feet without getting surrounded. Okay, you see here, there's 2 possible answers. I can tell him that the way is clear, and he'll, I suppose, make his own way back, but I usually choose this answer. I suppose I could open a rift gate. It turns out that part of the hangover from the ethereal possession is that I have this ability to open rift gates. The rift gates are actually the sort of like the portals that the ethereals use, but for some reason I'm able to open one and they don't come through, so I'm going to choose that answer. A what? Isn't that what those things are pouring out of? Well, sort of, but mine will take you home. I'm having a hard time believing that after what I've seen up in Burwich, but you don't seem to have the look of a taken about you. I suppose this is my only option. See you back at Devil's Crossing, open rift gate. Da-ding. That's the lift gate. If I open a... Anyway, I was able to open it for him, but I'm not able to open it for myself at the moment. Okay, not to worry. Okay, I'm going to come back over that little bridge that we crossed for the moment. Let me go this way. Because I want to finish over here. Leather coat, we don't need that. Oops. Now you see those guys getting out of the ground. Alright, we'll just let them come. Get them bunched up. The electrical effect procced again. Okay. Won't take that for the moment. There's also a thing here called untouched meal. Again, if you come across them, don't take it unless you need it. You can always come back. For the moment, we're doing okay. We'll come back and use that later on. Up.
That skill's not ready.
Okay, good. We got another level. Don't need that. Journal. Okay, let's pick these documents up. It's all part of the lore. Crude mace. One-handed mace, we don't need that. Now, be careful here. I'm going to take that level up first. 3. Okay, we're getting there. One more level. Okay, there's a just at this point here, beside the untouched meal, at this tree, there's a boss. There he is. So now we'll just...
Can't do that yet.
Oh. Okay. Alright, so look at that. That's what we got from the boss. Take all that stuff. And we'll take the food ration. So we're full health and full constitution now. That's good. Let's have a look in here. Let's have a look at those items. Cloth cap. Still need something for the shoulders. We haven't got anything yet. $24. 12. You can see when I mouse over an item here that it gives me a currently equipped and item in inventory, which is very handy. So we can replace those trousers and dump those. We have this scrap metal great axe of protection. Yeah, it gives us more damage. I don't know. We'll keep it anyway because it's yellow, so it'll have a price. It'll have value. So for the moment I might just stick with Hevel's greatsword and the chance of the electrical damage. you can see here that these grips are magical, but they have less armor than the hide gloves. So for the moment, I'm going to stick with the hide gloves. They give me more spirit, but I don't need spirit. So I'll stick with the hide gloves. I'll stick with the non-magical item. So the point I'm making here really is that you need to look at the stats on items. Not just because it has a particular color doesn't mean it's going to be better for your particular build. In fact, I think the color is irrelevant really at this point particularly. A lot of the white items, some of the white items we find will be stronger and better and more useful. 16 armor, so that's a big improvement. It'll give us some resistances. I think we'll go for this one here. We don't need that. That's it for the moment. So let's have a look at these messages. Journal of Inquisitor Creed. I am currently en route to the village of Burwich in order to investigate a number of strange incidents that have been reported in this area. As dusk is drawing near and the swamps of this region are said to be hazardous to travel at night, I've reluctantly taken up lodging at a small, squalid tavern in Lower Crossing. Perhaps I am weary from my hurried travels, but I feel as if there is a strange pressure and electricity in the air. It is almost akin to the still before a thunderous summer gale, but yet the sun shines and not a cloud is to be seen. Everything seems as it should, but in my gut I feel that something terrible will soon come to pass. So my feeling here is that this is written down before the grim dawn, and you can somehow feel it approaching. Second entry. As I was packing to resume my journey to Burwich, my assistance was urgently requested at a logging camp in the old grove west of Devil's Crossing, where strange animal attacks have left 3 lumbermen listless and pale. Upon arriving, I received a somber greeting from the foreman, who informed me that the bitten workers had gotten mad and fled the premises. They were reported to have talked or spoken in an unknown tongue. The foreman showed me the remains of the animals, 2 grey foxes and a hound, suffering with some sort of horrific mange, lay in a hastily dug pit behind the outhouse. The foreman told me the animals suddenly died when confronted by the workers, and a strange green vapour emanated from their remains. Shortly afterwards, the 3 lumbermen fell ill, and their mental state rapidly deteriorated. It appears that my presence in this region is most warranted. So what's going on here? The animals suddenly died when confronted by the workers, and a strange green vapour emanated from their remains. Now, it sounds to me as if those animals had been possessed by ethereals. But somehow, whatever was in those workers caused the ethereals to leave the animals. So, I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway. Okay. Let's come out this way first and check this here. I think we may have already been here. Oh no, we haven't been here. But there's nothing here anyway. Okay, bridge is blocked. But I know that we can get over just down here. Okay, so we've been here. Oh, a second. Alright. Let's go along here. Okay. Okay, let the guys bounce up. Okay. Yep. Let them bunch up. See, crossing the neck of land there. We don't need that at the moment. That's vital essence. That will restore our health and our constitution. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Just remember where it is. Okay. Oh, this is a rift, lower crossing rift. Okay, so when we find a rift and take possession of it, mark it in a sense, it becomes ours. See this ring around it? Apparently, this is a kind of a ring of salt that our hero puts around the rift, which seals it off from ethereals, apparently. So that's the idea, I think, in the game. And if we see here, salt bag, a bag full of salt, seemingly to ward off evil spirits. So salt has some kind of magical effect against these ethereals, in a kind of a warding sense. So this is blocked off. We can go this way. Okay, let's let these guys get punched up. That's good. battered shell. Very useful component. Now, if we just have a look here, we can see that this is an entrance to the burial hill. Just right there. But I don't want to go in there just right now. I want to wait till I get one more. I want to wait until I have one more level.
That skill's not ready.
And I have my second sort of crucial skill, which is Blitz. These guys give me decent experience. Okay, whoops. Whoops. Very often hit and run tactics are the best.
That skill's not ready.
Great, we got our level. Okay, so we've done pretty good there. And now we have Blitz. Excellent. So now you'll see in a minute exactly how that works. Is there anything we need here? Nope. So now I'm going to, I forgot to assign Blitz. I'll do that now. I'm going to assign Blitz to the E key. And that's what Blitz does. It's really excellent. Makes you very mobile in battle. So I combine both Blitz and Force Wave, and that's all the damage that I need. That does the main damage. So that's pretty good. We've reached level 5. I think we've done pretty good up to this. And I think it's probably time to bring this first episode of this Let's Play to an end, and we'll continue in the next. I hope you can come back. Whoops. Hope you can come back and join me. I'm going to come back around to the lower crossing rift and see can I use it. I'm not sure if I can at this point. We'll go into Burial Hill in the next episode. Let's see if I can use this. I can. Good. Alright, so we're back now. What I'll have to do next is sort through this equipment. Do a little bit of sell what I don't need, see if I can buy anything or if there's anything that I need to buy. But for now, I hope this has been interesting, amusing. If you like it, please give me a like. You can subscribe if you want to watch any more. I'll also be starting a Skyrim Let's Play, which I'll be calling a lore play. In other words, I'll be focusing on the lore of Skyrim. So if you'd like to join me for that, by all means do. Thanks very much.